Looks like it.
Yo, what's up? It's Brother Jack. You watching Lights Out TV.
This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, and with me via Zoom, delighted to be joined by Michael the Problem Mckinson. Michael, good afternoon, buddy. How's it going?
Good afternoon, mate. Yes, it's going well. I'm going well. I'm pretty good.
How are you keeping throughout these unprecedented times during this pandemic COVID situation?
A lot better since my fight than when we went into lockdown at the beginning of the year. I lost a lot of motivation, because the only thing I could do at the beginning is run and do the stuff at home and stuff like that. And to be fair, I weren't running. I lost loads of motivation. I went up to nearly 13 stone in weight. And so that last training camp I had a lot of catching up to do. So I've said to myself, I would never, ever be like that again. So I've set myself targets. As soon as I get to a target where I'm weighing a little bit too heavy than what I'd want to be, I'll be back dieting, But weight's good this time. Since my fight, I've been training non-stop. Because there's not really a lot else to do in these times at the moment. So I'm really grateful I've got a boxing gym and I can train. So yeah, looking good for 2021.
It's good to hear that you're obviously now in the right shape, the right frame of mind, and got big things planned for 2021. In terms of 2021, hopefully it's a lot better than 2020. What are overall plans for yourself? And has there been any discussions about a potential opponent? And how many times can we expect to see you in the ring next year?
Well, discussions of opponents, my name's never ever mentioned. They talk about wanting to fight each other, and they never ever want to fight me. So that's always been the case. I've been ready for the big names for a while now, and I've been calling them, and just nothing come of it. I'm in a real good position. I'm ranked WBO number 6. So if these guys in the UK still don't want to mention my names, keep avoiding me, then I've got that route to go, the WBO route, So I'm not going to wait about. I don't want to be 30 years old by the time I get my big shot, So the next few years are the most crucial for me and my career. So yeah, I've been a pro 6 years. I turned pro at 20. So it's not as if I've only had a few years in the pro game. I've been a pro for a good amount of time now. I've had to do it the hard way. I've had to take risks, take gambles, and I still haven't got what I deserve. So yeah, just I want the big fights in 2021. I want to be out 3 times, and I am a bit of a diva. I do have a little bit of a whinge if there's something I don't like, but I've got a great management team in MTK, a brilliant management team in MTK. They've got their work cut out managing me, somebody who's so avoided, but they still managed to get me out, keep me active. So that's the main thing. But yeah, we want big fights 2021, big fights.
When you say that you've been avoided and that you've been after the big fights for quite a while now, as you just mentioned, you turned pro 6 years ago. Am I right to believe you're talking about the likes of the Josh Kellys, the Conor Benns, the Chris Jenkins, maybe even the Chris Congos as well?
Yeah, them 4 names are the only really guys in Britain that it's worth talking about that for me to fight. I don't really want to fight anyone else because, to a sense, it'll be mugging myself for even longer, because everyone who I've fought, I've proved on not just the league above them, I've proved that I'm 3 or 4 leagues above them, because I win and shut out fights against good fighters. So them 4 names you mentioned, you can even chuck in the new kid on the block, Florian as well. He's only had 7 fights. It's not even worth, but he's getting a lot of attention. So it is worth chucking his name in the hat as well. But they're the guys I want. They're the guys my supporters want me to fight. I can't go into the town centre and get stopped and they're not mention Conor Benn's name. Do you know what I mean? Josh Kelly's name. The fight I really did want is the Chris Kongo fight, and there's been interviews and all stuff like that where I have been trying to get that fight and call him out. But he got something else, and that's cancelled now. So hopefully in 2021, my name is floating about as the opponent for these guys. So that's what I want. I deserve it.
Obviously, you said that those 4 names are the fights you really want to see yourself in, and as you mentioned, the Chris Kongo fight is a fight that you've been trying to capture for a while. Chris Kongo was very interested in taking on Florian Marku on the Joshua Pulev card. Why hasn't the Chris Kongo fight? Why hasn't that fight been able to be made yet?
He was very inactive for a long time, and he had no worth to me. I sparred him when he was 2-0. I was fighting for my first title. I'd done 10 rounds, one spar with him about nearly 4 years ago now. But then his career was quite quiet. He was very inactive, and I was really active, and I was winning titles and stuff like that. So it wasn't really on the radar until recent. He had a good win over Luther Clay on a good platform. And it's a very good win. I'm not saying Chris Kongo's not a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. But I believe I can compete with these guys and beat these guys. I just want my chance to prove it, So after he fought like Luther Clay, who I sparred millions of rounds with, I sparred hundreds of rounds with him a few years ago. He looked really good. So he was the name that was flying about in the UK, So why not try and get the fight with somebody that everyone's talking about? That's why I'm in this sport. I'm in this sport to change my life and my daughter's life, So I want to achieve as much as I can. So that's why I want to fight one of the best in the UK. I want to prove that I am the best in the UK because I really do believe that.
Do you believe that perhaps maybe the exposure, the promotion behind Conor Benn, Josh Kelly, and even Chris Kongo is probably the reason why you haven't been looked in as a potential opponent for them? Because the platform with Sky Sports, Matchroom, even on DAZN as well. So it's pretty. You can sort of see why they're sort of getting pushed further and further away from yourself.
Tell you what it is, because I've since obviously this lockdown, the Matchroom shows and the fight camps and all stuff like that, they've been great shows. And these welterweights have been fighting on these shows. You can chuck Marku in now. So it's Kongo, Benn, Kelly, and now that Marku. So they can mention each other's names because they're all in the same promotional team and everything, but they don't want to mention me. They boycott my name every time. Sky Sports boycott my name every single time. Now, what is the reason for that? I don't know. I've been in the top 10 longer than these guys. Been top 10 in the UK longer than these guys. I've got the best CV, other than Khan and Brook, I've got the best CV in the UK. Like my last, I think, 5 opponents or something like that has had a combined record of 53 wins and 2 losses. Something silly like that. It's been real good. I've got the best CV in the UK. So why ain't my name being mentioned? There's nothing else I can do to be able to get a mention, So it is just a matter of time, but I am getting impatient because I deserve a lot more credit than I have been getting, and I need to be mentioned a lot more. When the people are mentioning Chris Kongo, Conor Benn, Josh Kelly, I'm in the same sort of level as all of them guys. In fact, I've got better CVs than all of them guys, so I should be getting mentioned. Sky Sports want to boycott me. Well, I'm not just saying Sky Sports; they all really want to boycott my name.
Interesting times in the 147 welterweight division. It's pretty clear that I'm not going to say angered, but it's annoyed you that you've not been mentioned with those names. And your record speaks for itself. 19-0, undefeated, ranked with the WBO. I know that just judging by talking to you, you'd be more than happy to fight on a Matchroom show and, perhaps, whatever it takes. Most of these fighters, those 3 fighters are all promoted by Eddie Hearn. So, floor's all yours. What message would you give to Eddie Hearn into making these fights happen?
Just give me my chance, I've got a good ranking I've got a good ranking, I've got a good record, and I've got a good CV. So I deserve my chance more than any of them guys. You know, they're the guys I want to fight. Them three matchroom boys are the guys I want to fight. I know they've got their own sort of paths that they're taking and so, but I should be right in the middle of it all. So just give me my chance. 2021, I want it.
Well, fingers crossed that you get that chance. It'd be good to see you in with those names. I mean, with what's going on and everything in the world, I think it is the right time to be making these fights. Michael, before we let you go, just give us a prediction for next weekend, Canelo versus Callum Smith. I know you'll be rooting for the fellow Brit. What chances do you give Callum Smith winning that fight next weekend?
Of course, it'd be great to see him go over there and do a number on him, but I believe no one beats Canelo at this moment in time. I think he's a level above any super middleweight in the world. So my prediction would be a Canelo wide points.
It's going to be a great fight, that's for sure. And there's no harm in admitting that you're supporting Canelo, because regardless, probably one of the best fighters.
I'm supporting Callum Smith. Canelo is my favourite fighter, but like if anybody was to go over and beat Canelo, I'd want it to be a Brit, you know. So I'm always supporting like my own, but I just don't think, like my personal opinion, I think Canelo like wins on points quite comfortably.
Well, let's see what happens next week. It's a fight, and one punch could change everything. Michael, before we end the interview, is there anything you'd like to add?
Big shout out to my city, Portsmouth. I know I get a good following and everything now, so hopefully things can go back to normal in 2021, and you can come with me and support me on my fights, and we'll take over yet again. Big shout out Portsmouth.
Who knows? One day, maybe even sell out Fratton Park as well.
That's the dream. That's the goal. It's going to happen.
Michael, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure finally speaking to you. Hope you have a good Christmas and early Happy New Year to yourself as well. And we look forward to speaking to you at the beginning of 2021.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Michael Mckinson, thank you for talking to Lights Out, mate.
Nice one.